It's Super Tuesday in Colorado, and we are joined by Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, who is on the campaign trail right now in Minnesota. Thanks for taking time to talk to Colorado voters, Secretary Clinton.
Well, thanks so much, Marshall, for having given me this opportunity.
No problem. Why Minnesota? Why not in Colorado today?
Well, I've covered a lot of ground, and I just could not get back to Colorado, much to my regret. I got to Minnesota around, I don't know, 12:30 in the morning, you know, that seemed to be about the limit. But I wanted to take this opportunity to talk to your viewers and to stress the importance of the upcoming Colorado caucus tonight, and how I hope that, you know, people will give me a chance to be the Democratic nominee and go on and become president.
66 Democratic delegates are up for grabs tonight in some fashion. What is success? Clearly, not getting all 66 would be great, but what is success for you in Colorado?
Well, I am hoping to do as well as I can in Colorado. I know our team has been working really, really hard on the ground. We have thousands of volunteers across the state who are doing their very best to reach out and convince people to go to the caucus in the first place, and then to caucus for me. You know, we came off our successful organizing effort in Nevada. I was very encouraged by the outcome there. But, you know, in a caucus, it's often difficult to know who will come out. A lot of people in caucus states that I've been in, Iowa, Nevada, Colorado, Minnesota, you know, they say they're going to vote in the election. And when I tell them there's a caucus, a lot of them have never participated. They don't really understand it. So we have a big education job in Colorado, and the folks supporting me have been working really, really hard to make the case.
8 years ago, you lost the caucus in terms of delegates 2-1 to President Barack Obama. Bernie Sanders in Colorado and where you are in Minnesota, these tend to be the two states that he might have the best chance. What did you learn from 8 years ago, and do you really care if you don't get half or a little more than half of the delegates here?
Well, I learned a lot. You know, I didn't really understand caucuses myself 8 years ago, and we sure didn't make the commitment and organization and resources that we've made this time. So I don't have a particular prediction. Obviously, I want to do as well as I can in Colorado. I care a lot about the state. I have a lot of friends there. I've worked with people there over many years on a lot of issues having to do with kids and families and women's rights and opportunities. And so, you know, I'm hoping that we'll get a good turnout. We're really running a campaign to break down barriers, because I don't think we're a single-issue country. I'm not a single-issue candidate. We've got to do better on the economy, get more good-paying jobs to get those incomes rising for everybody. I want to defend the Affordable Care Act and prevent the Republicans from repealing it, but we got to get prescription drug costs down. I've gone after some of the worst offenders there, like Valiant Pharmaceuticals, which has upped the cost of drugs ridiculously high with no justification. And we got to defend our rights. I mean, we have to defend a woman's right to make her own choices, and we've got to defend Planned Parenthood. So I think a lot of voters in Colorado know where I stand. The challenge is making it really a strong reason for them to come out and caucus and not wait for the November election.
For the second year in a row in his State of the State address, Governor John Hickenlooper called for a federal banking system for marijuana. This year, a little more than halfway through this budget year, Colorado has taken in a little more than $76 million. What can be done so that this is just not a cash industry?
Well, I agree with the governor. I'm proud to have his support in this race, and I would look forward to working with him and other leaders within the state on this and other issues. Look, more states are going to be voting in November, both for medical marijuana initiatives as well as legalizing marijuana. I think the states are the laboratories of democracy. I'm following this closely, but we're going to have to figure out how we provide federal support for banking services while we watch and see and learn lessons from what's happening in states like Colorado.
With the Aurora Theater shooting that happened here and a discussion about gun violence and mental health, in that case, legally got the guns. was seeking help from a mental health professional. What can be done for someone who is seeking help but isn't saying the key words, that I'm going to do X at Y location? What can be done to prevent the next person that might be planning the same thing right now?
Well, this is a big issue for me, and I'm grateful to have the support of a lot of people who are fighting for common sense gun safety measures in Colorado. We've got to do more to prevent people like the killer who went into the theater in Aurora from getting a gun. We need earlier reporting from mental health professionals because he was seeking help. But, you know, we've got rules about what can be reported and what can't be reported. We've got to, you know, figure out the best way forward so that if somebody is getting treatment and there's any reason to believe that person is a threat to himself or others, we've got to have comprehensive background checks. We've got to close the gun show loophole, close the online loophole, and information like that needs to be in the files because what we're trying to do here is come together around common sense measures. People say to me, well, can you stop every killing? No, we probably can't stop every killing, but when 33,000 people a year die from gun violence, don't you think we can stop some? And isn't it worth saving those lives and then getting better and better to make sure that, you know, law-abiding, responsible gun owners have their rights, but other people, fugitives, felons, stalkers, domestic abusers, the mentally ill, terrorists, we stop them from ever getting either the gun or the ammunition that the Aurora killer got. So I'm passionate about this because I've just met too many people who've lost their children, their husbands, their wives, their parents. You know, this can't go on, and there's a way to do this, and that's what I'm going to continue to fight for.
Secretary Clinton, I know the no notoriety people would appreciate avoiding the name like you did in the answer with the Aurora Theater shooter. We appreciate your time, taking time out of your campaign in Minnesota. Super Tuesday, a big day for you. Thank you, Secretary.
Thank you. Thank you very much.